Ay, ay. Look. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look, Papa don't preach, teachers don't teach. Gon' reach, that's facts. I ain't worried about none of that. I'm making that cash stack. Bunch of O's like NASCAR, but it's really more like NASDAQ. Why they thinking that they hot when they really more like quarter on me like a referee? Hating what they'll never be. Small top with a big bottom, yeah, shorter shape like a letter D. Let her have it, then I let her be. If you love it, gotta let it grow. Crazy cause you really never know. When I'm hurting, never let it show. I'm a two-tone, two-phone, two-chain, new thing, lane whipper, you a broke. Low class, no cash, certified lame. I've been getting to it like I ought to. Couldn't pick, so I bought two. Understand why your chick came, I'm just trying to figure why she brought you. I'm really reppin' and I'm flexed up, and I ain't gotta tell him I'm next up. Sleep on the they rest up, but I'm up and I'm getting my checks up. Me and the fellas be high as propellers, ain't could tell us we great. Looking at like how do you figure unless you could talk about 8 figures. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Look how we litty, we turned up the city, we raising the bar height. I been finessing, just look at them stressing, yeah, they been up all night. Sipping this water with somebody's daughter, she take what I taught her and build on it. Came in this game on that today, ain't in a couple years later, we still on it. Be hating on it, be waiting on it like a new season. I bet an acre on it, I put some paper on it like I'm loose leafing. Buying them assets, build me a cash net I could fall in. Look at my last bet, ain't got a tiptoe, I'm all in. Think on a level that can't fail, and I roll me a J with the hate mail. Been doing good on the merch sale, all this bread on me look like a bake sale. Tell her your what's really good, I be really good on a jaw jack. Send an email about the bread, I'ma hit you back with the call back. I'm too cool for the rules, baby, get off of me. Never need no push, I do it all for me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be. Too true for the flex, baby, don't cap to me. Drop 50, bring 150 right back to me. Keep a couple real hitters, got them on call for me. Money moving, got it in the market where it ought to be.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it.
Look, mile like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip, cold winter. All my eating good, I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides with me. Check, coming, check, leaving flex season 12, come and get me. Get up to run around, high speed, chasing all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks, Geo the whiplash. Slide through hot knife, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still at it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. B&Me so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra, extra, read about it, headline, word around town, flexing. Ballin' on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these, ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid
Come on in. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is good. I'm gonna be real quick tonight because I told y'all last night I may not come on tonight, but I'm a hard worker, man. So I don't let things stop me. We do every Thursday night, so I'm gonna be here on Thursday night, even though I'm fatigued, but I'm gonna go ahead and knock it out for y'all anyway. So come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Hope everybody is having a good Thursday. Shout out to my community. I think I got the best box trucking community across all the interwebs. So from YouTube to Instagram to TikTok to Facebook, I think I got the best community here. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the MGM. Shout out to everybody that's here this Thursday night. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is healthy. Shout out to SD Walt. Shout out to Great Polo STL in the building. Let's get them likes up too, please. Let's get those likes up. Roger Lacey, I see you. Big Hearn, what's the deal? South Louisiana in the building. Interstate Screw. I see Detroit. Where all my Detroit people at? Fonzo the trucker. Shout out to all my truckers on the road. Shout out to all my big riggers that's out on the road. ATL in the building. What up, Barbara? Corey, what up? What up? That playlist, I'm going to put that playlist together. I'm gonna try to knock it out this week. Shout out to Marcel, Detroit, Brick City in the building. Andrew Green, Harrisburg. What's going on? Smallholder Homestead said he's coming to the conclusion. I am coming to the conclusion I have box truck dreams and cargo fan money, or maybe not even enough for that yet. Well, you can always start in your car. There's plenty of opportunities where you can make money in your vehicle, your car. Sometimes you got to use what you have to get to where you want to get to. I'm a testament of that. I used what I had, even though it was a different time period. There was no gig economy. So I was working off of Craigslist, but now you have more opportunities out there to use your personal vehicle to make money, to get to where you need to get to, and you can do it. There's a lot of these gig apps pay pretty well. People are making living in their personal vehicle off gig apps. So you can do it. If people can make a living off of it, then you definitely can start from that small place, right? And grow from there. So I would look into that. Shout out to Zupchuck, Interstate Screw. What up? Heavy Goodman, what up? Detroit, man. Detroit heavy. I see everybody up in Detroit. My neighbor to the north. Shout out to Texas. I see Kelvin in the building. Charles, what up? Oklahoma. Jeremy Littman. Shout out to Jeremy. Appreciate you for doing that testimonial last week. Columbus, Ohio. Let's see. What else? St. Louis. What else? Decide to go ahead and take your advice and get the transit cargo van first. That's what's up, man. Congratulations, man. Good luck. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to the moderators, all the moderators. I appreciate y'all. Bag Life. I see Carolina in the building. Come on in. James. Hey, there we go. I knew one was going to pop up. We got another Chicago. Chicago all coming in at the same time. Shout out to James. Hey, shout out to Block Bree. Inglewood in the building. Shout out to LA. I see LA in the building. Shout out to MG. Come on in. Hit that like button. Let's get the show on the road. Oh, I got to pay the bills. I'm sorry. This is a sponsor. This is show. I got to pay the bills on this one. Hold on. All right, guys. Rock Financial. Shout out to Rock Financial for sponsoring this podcast. Are you a small business owner and need a capital to take your business to the next level? Look no further than Rock Financial, your trusted partner in business financing. With Rock Financial, you can access a wide range of funding options, including business loans, lines of credit, equipment financing, and even merchant cash advances. They work with businesses of all sizes and industries, so whether you're just starting out or looking to expand, Rock Financial has a solution for you. So whether you need capital to grow your business, purchase equipment, or simply manage cash flow, Rock Financial is here to support you every step of the way. Visit their website in the link below today to learn more and start your journey towards financial success. Thanks again to Rock Financial for making this podcast possible. And to all my listeners and subscribers, your dreams and business aspirations are within reach with the right partner. Rock Financial, your success is their business, and I did not put the banner up. I am tweaking, so I definitely got to hit the tweak button for
You
myself.
tweaking.
I'm
Yo,
goofy,
goof ass.
and I'm
Goofy
goofy
as
as
hell.
hell. Shout out to Rock Financial. I apologize for that, but we'll just leave the banner up for a little bit longer. Come on in. Shout out to J. Cole. I see Paul Smith making fun of the Bears. Listen, I give two damns about the Chicago Bears. I really ain't gave a damn about the Bulls since about 98. Who else? I cared a little bit about the White Sox in '05 when they had their last run. Never been a fan of hockey. All right. So it's safe to say I really haven't been a sports fanatic since 98. Since 98. Yeah. So, I'm not really big into sports. When sports is on like football on Sundays, I'm doing something. And that's just me. I'm doing something more constructive. I'm trying to, piece things together, looking for new bags, things of that nature. No offense to nobody that watches football. That's just not me. I'm trying to find out where the bags is at. I got a big project on my hand right now that I'm not going to talk about. I may mention it, but I got things going on. So, but shout out to everybody that watch sports. It's just not interesting to me. It hasn't been interesting since MJ left. So, it is what it is. The Bears suck. I don't see why these people continue to buy these season tickets for the Bears. Y'all go out there. It's finna get cold. Y'all be sitting out there in 0 degree, -10 degrees, with no shirt on, paint your face orange and blue, and all this goofball stuff to watch them lose. That old lady that owns the Bears, she don't care nothing about investing money into that team because y'all continue to go drop bags and bags of money on season tickets. Y'all out there 5 in the morning tailgating with no shirt on, barbecuing in 10 degrees below weather, and she don't care because she's going to continuously make money off you guys because you guys keep buying the seats. So she doesn't have to invest money into the team for them to win because she's making money hand over fist off the seats and the licensing of all the Bears merchandise. So I'm not going to support a loser team. It's Soldier Field, Mark. It's the tradition. It's the truth, what you say. Yeah, I know. I'm not finna get excited about no people that's losing. But come on in. We got a good show tonight. I'm going to make it quick, and then I'm going to do a brief little Q&A afterwards. This is a show that I've been wanting to do for quite some time now, but I didn't know how people were going to respond to it. This is something I touch on from time to time, but I never really expound on it because it is one of those topics that is kind of touchy. But based on the poll here, I may be okay. Based on the poll, I may be all right. Let me check this poll out. So how do you prioritize? 59%, well, it's 54 votes so far. 59% said God, business, and family. 24% said God, family, and business. 2% said family, God, and business. And then 15%, I guess that's the atheists. They say everything is all business, baby. So 59% follows my model. God, business, then family. Shout out to Great Polo for becoming a member. Of the MGM gang. All right, so boom, let's get into it, man. So testimonials. It's a show that I thought of about 2 months ago. Now, where we on yesterday was episode 8. So about 2 months ago, maybe a little over 2 months ago, and man, it was a great idea. Shout out to everybody that has come and been a part of that. I try to do things creative for the box truck community. It's easy to just turn on the camera and talk. Well, it's not easy. Let me say this. It's not easy to turn on the camera and talk. Content creation can be tough. It's not as easy as people think. You know what I'm saying? Creating a video is a lot harder than live streaming because live streaming, all I gotta do is cut on the camera. But live streaming, for obviously a lot of people, may be harder because you have to be charismatic. You have to be able to hold an audience for an extended amount of time and be very, very knowledgeable on whatever it is you're talking about. Like, you have to have extensive knowledge, you know what I'm saying? All while being charismatic, humorous, so on and so forth, and engaging so that you can keep and capture that audience's attention. So for some people, live streaming may be easier. It's easier for me because I'm experienced. I know the camera is going to be freezing tonight. That's why I was kind of late. So we're just going to deal with it. We're going to deal with it. But as long as y'all can hear me. So I don't like editing videos, right? So I prefer to live stream, where some people may prefer to, do videos and instead of live stream. But, this is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a minute. Now, as I continue to do these testimonials, the issue that people are having obviously is with their finances, right? And then it all comes down to that one thing. We heard Big Zo say it last night. Somebody else said it. I can't remember. But like 2 or 3 people. I remember Big Zo because he was the most recent. And I remember Serious Lanes because he was the first to say it. And then I think there was another person or two in between that said it. When you talk to the finances, it all resorts back, I got a family. And that's fine. Having a family is absolutely, positively fine. But that has nothing at all to do with the business. So my disclaimer before we get started, I'm going to make it quick. I don't want to drag this out because I think if I do drag it out, I don't want to. I just want to get in because this is a touchy topic, right? I just want to get in and get out, all right? And then I'm going to go straight to the Q&A. The whole purpose most people want to start a business is because they want to get out of the rat race. They want to chase this financial freedom, this generational wealth stuff that people talk about, right? All of the above, right? So achieving financial stability, all right? So family, well-being is often closely associated and tied to financial stability. Prioritizing your business, especially during its early stages, can be essential in assuring a stable income to provide for your family's basic needs. This is something that I talk about when I say you have to be selfish in order to be selfless later on. I'm in a selfless point of my life right now, right? Now, granted, I didn't have a family in the early stages of my building. I still don't, right? Because I'm winding down, right? So I say that to say this. Even though I didn't have a family, I was very selfish. I was in a relationship. I was in 2 relationships during the 2010s, right? 2 4-year relationships. And I put the business before I put anything. Very selfish. Why? Because you have to prioritize. The business takes care of everything. It's just like if you work for a company. The business takes care of itself, it sustains itself, and it takes care of all the levels of management. It takes care of the employees. It takes care of the vendors. The business takes care of everything. So if I'm stepping away from the rat race, right, to start my own business, it's my responsibility to prioritize the business so that the business can cover me. All right. It's my responsibility to prioritize the business so that the business can cover me. I have to be very selfish, especially in the early stages, especially during the early, beginning stages of building. It's just like building a house or building a building. You're setting that foundation. Now, if you have a family, this is where it may get tough. All right, we're going to talk about the foundation, and then we'll get into the finances. All right, when you're setting that foundation, it's going to require a lot of time and a lot of back-breaking work, even when you get home after a long day, especially at the beginning. You're hitting the computer, you're posting your ads, you're going into the classifieds, you're marketing your business. Why? You can't market your business during the day because you're out physically doing the labor, whether it be driving, whether you're doing curbside or big and bulky final mile, or whether you're doing moving. So even when you get home, you take your shower, you may get something to eat. Now you got the laptop. Now you're sitting in front of the computer. Now you're on thumbtack responding to messages. You're in the classifieds. You're putting up ads. You may be paying for Google ads. If you're a curbside guy or a big and bulky guy, you may be on the classifieds or Indeed looking for other opportunities that may be paying more. You heard Mark talking about, seasonality and things may be changing. So you may be looking into opportunities for you to transition. And this is something that you're going to do every single day. So even when you come home, you're working. When you sleep, you're working because you're thinking about work for the next day. You're prepping and you're planning for the next day. And you may have a spouse and you may seem disengaged or disconnected. Let me tell you, nothing's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You have officially become an entrepreneur. You have officially become an entrepreneur. And this is where I was at in my early stages. I was always focused on, what can I do better? How can I go to the next level? There wasn't a moment that I was coherent that I wasn't thinking about business. Not a moment. Not a single waking moment. In those early days, wasn't not a single waking moment that I was not thinking about the business. I could be sitting eating. I'm thinking about the business. Trying to go to sleep, laying in the bed, thinking about the business, thinking about the next day, thinking about the next season, thinking about the next year, thinking about scaling. What type of trucks? Where can I buy trucks? Can I get a cheaper rental rate? Where can I find cheaper supplies? What classifieds are out there that I don't know about that I can post? It's all about business. The most successful people work 18 hours a day, especially at the beginning. So it's very, very important that at the beginning, you're working. I think a lot of people that are getting into this box truck space that I talk to when they reach out to me for coaching sessions, when I talk to them, I could just tell they don't think that the level of work that's needed in order to grow and your business and be able to scale and ultimately see success. When I talk to them and I tell them what I'm telling you guys now, they believe it because the way I present it, but they come to me with a false sense of reality, right? So, recently I figured out where this false sense of reality is coming from. Why? Because I'm like a needle in a haystack. Kirk is like a needle in a haystack. You know what I'm saying? We're like small fish in a big pond, right? And our peers in the space, right? If you look at our peers in the space, shout out to the peers in the space, they promote the business, they promote their products, and but what I don't see from people in the space is the truth. Whether they know the truth or don't know the truth, they're not exposing it. So let's say people do know the truth. They're not exposing it to the people. They're selling people hope, like I talked about last week, in order to market whatever product that there is to sell. And that makes my job harder. That makes Kirk's job harder because we're doing the work pro bono for the most part. Right? So then when you see people that fail, they can't realize why they're failing. One, because they're misappropriating their funds. One, due to family that we've come to see from multiple testimonials, right? And the second thing is they're not investing the time that it needs, that a new business needs, right, in order to grow, right? So let's move on. By dedicating more time and effort to your business in the short term, you may create more secure financial future for your family in the long run. Let's talk a little bit about money. And that goes back to what I was talking about the foundation, right? So we had Big Zoe. Shout out to Big Zoe last night. Shout out to Serious Lane. Shout out to everybody else that I've had on testimonials that, you know, when it gets to that tough part, I know the cameras froze, just keep rocking with me. Ain't nothing I could do. I don't know why it only freezes on Thursday nights. I think maybe something to do with the Wi-Fi. But anyway, so shout out to Big Zoe. Finances. Listen, the first thing I think people should do, and I'm gonna be listen to me. I'm gonna be as gentle as possible. I don't want nobody to get offended. The first thing you need to do before you start any business is you need to look at your personal living expenses. When you start a business, there is going to be a level of sacrifice, right? It's going to be a level of sacrifice, right? The problem is when people work for a job, you get paid weekly, you get paid bi-weekly, right? The business holds that money until payday. Why is it that when people work for a job, right, at a business that withholds their money either for a weekly or bi-weekly payday, versus when you work for yourself, let's say you do moving and you're touching money every day, or let's say you're trucking, you're touching money every day or every few days. Why is it that when you work for the company and they hold your money to a payday, you can survive, but when you work for yourself, you misappropriate the funds? How is it that you can save money working for a company to get you back and forth to work, make sure you got enough food, whatever you need to get from one pay period to the next? How is it that you can appropriate your paycheck better when you're working for someone else versus, than you can when you're working for yourself? That really baffles me. Right? That baffles me, right? Money comes in, and no sooner than it comes in, it goes right back out. No sooner than it comes in, it goes right back out. I don't get it. All right? Before you start a trucking business, you need to really look at your personal expenses. For instance, if you know it costs you $3,000 a month to live, you, your wife, your kid, right? You got this business, your fixed cost, your variable cost, let's say for the month is $8,000. All right? It costs you $3,000 to live. Let's say $7,000 for your business, $3,000 to live. Let's say $10,000. So you need to go out there and bust your behind to at least make $10,000. You need to cover your fixed and variable expenses on average, and you need to be able to pay yourself at least $3,000 to cover your living expenses. All this needs to be figured out before you start the business. Because if you figure this out and you don't think you can do it, then you need to stay at your job. The thing is once you take that leap of faith and you come into business, it's game on. You can't say, like Serious Lane said, I got to take a break. And shout out to Serious Lanes, but I got to keep it funky. I got a family, this, that, and the third. You decided to start a business. There is no punch in at 9, punch out at 5. When you become a business owner, it's your responsibility to meet the needs of the business. You have to meet the needs of the business. The business controls you. You have to meet the business. You have to meet the needs of the business. The business don't have to meet the needs of you. And that's where a lot of people are getting it misconstrued and confused. You have to meet the needs of the business. Whatever the business requires, you have to meet those needs. The business don't have to meet the needs of you. This is why the business comes before anything other than God. God comes first. Because without God, you wouldn't be in the position that you're in to start a business in the first place. It's like God over man, man over woman, woman over child. And in a situation like this, God, business, family. You got in the business. You got in the business to achieve financial stability. You want to get out of the rat race. You want to make more money. You want to work for yourself. You want this generational wealth that all these guys talk about, right? All these guys, these families that have generational wealth, and I named a few of them a few live streams ago. I'll go through a few of them. J.P. Morgan, the Kennedys, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. We hear these names, but they also had an inception, right? They also started from somewhere. And if you go do research, it all started with hard work. It all started with hard work. It all started with sacrifice. Your pay as the business owner is measured based off the success of the business. I'm going to say that again. Your pay as the business owner, right, is measured based off of the success of the business. One more time for the people in the back. Your pay, the pay that you pay yourself, is measured based off the success of the business. And that sums it all up right there. I really don't even have to go any further. If you want to increase your pay, it's imperative that you bust your behind to make the business successful. The more the business is successful, the more you can reward yourself by paying yourself more. Your pay is measured based off the success of the business. So the reason why a lot of people are failing is because they're not working hard enough. And they're prioritizing the wrong things. Listen, if you're making a large lump sum of money, if you're making enough money that you're able to pay your fixed and variable costs and you still have an egregious amount of money left, you're still at the beginning stage and you still should be paying yourself very modestly because ultimately you want to scale and grow. If your living expenses are $3,000, pay yourself $4,500. If you have enough cash flow to pay yourself that much, live very modest, keep enough money in the business to cash flow the business, right? Continue to do that aggressively. So ultimately you can scale the business. If you have the formula down pat where you're making money hand over fist, then man, you're just going to keep repeating that process. But at the beginning, you have to take the sacrifice by paying yourself modest. You can't pay yourself handsomely yet. And that's another thing. People are paying themselves handsomely. How is it you're paying yourself handsomely and the business is broke? I don't really understand that. I don't really get that. I don't really get that. You know, it's important. It's very important, and I can't stress this enough. And I'm not going to hold you guys that, you know, we get these finances together, man. It's not the business's responsibility to take care of your family. It's your responsibility to take care of your family. So if your business is not making enough money, that means you need to work harder. Your pay is measured based off the success of the business. Your pay is measured based off the success of the business. So you have to work harder. And if you're working hard and the business has money coming in, then prioritize. There's no way Big Zoe make 20,000. We go through everything, right? And it's $7,500, $8,000 that's not accounted for. I know where the money went. Same thing with everybody else. When you first come into some money, you're starting your business, it's different from working a job. That money coming in every day. Like, especially if you got moving business, you touching that money every day. You finish a job, credit card in your account. Like, credit card in your account, credit card in your account. That money hitting your account the next day, if you can't wait, some people can't wait for their money. You know, they'll pay the 1% and do the same day. They'll pay the 1%. You know what I'm saying? But that money coming in so fast and you're not used to that type of money coming in so fast, you spend it. You're not appropriating it correctly. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Finding balance. Let's talk about balance. How do you find balance? It's crucial that putting the business over family doesn't mean neglecting your loved ones. It's about finding balance that works for you and your family, unique circumstances. This is a conversation that people need to have with their partners. If you're in a relationship, I think prior to starting a trucking company, right? I think this is one of those conversations that you really, 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 really need to have with your partner. I know the screen is froze, but I'm just going to rock out. I ain't finna be messing with the camera. This is a conversation that y'all really, really need to have prior to getting started. Man, I listened to Mark. Mark said, listen, if I'm over the road, I may not see you for 30 days. I may not see you for a month and a half. You know, I'm starting this moving company. So Mark said I need to do 3 moves a day. So that means I'm going to be leaving out of here at 6 because my first move need to start by 7 or 8. My last move probably going to be starting sometime between 5 and 7. If that last move is a tough one, I may not be getting home to 12. After I done did 3 moves, I'm tired. My muscles are sore. I'm taking a hot shower. I'm damn near falling asleep in the shower. And I'm right back up. If I do come home early enough, I'm trying to build this business. So now I'm sitting at the computer trying to figure out ways to market, trying to talk to somebody and see if they can drum me up some type of flyer, you know, some type of Instagram flyer. I'm looking to see how I can pay Facebook or Instagram to run a sponsored ad. I'm talking to a graphic designer so they can design this ad for me. I'm trying to figure out new marketing tactics on thumbtack. I'm responding to people on thumbtack. I'm pricing out Google ads, trying to see if it's worth it for me to post Google ads. Can we afford it? I'm looking at the prices. I'm trying to cut costs. Is CDS cheaper than New Haven versus Uline for shrink wrap and moving tape? You know what? We've been working with these blankets, you know, for a month now. The blankets got dust on them. You know, I need to figure out what day I'm going to drive this truck over to the laundromat and take these 4, 5, 6 dozen blankets and wash them all at the laundromat. I got to figure out a day to do that. I'm nervous because we was on a job today and one of my guys, he kind of, you know, strained his back. I'm hoping and praying he show up to work tomorrow because if he don't, I'm screwed. So you know what? If I don't hear from him by 6 o'clock, I'm going to call him. I need to head to the Home Depot and see if Julio or Caesar, if I can get one of these migrants, grab one of these migrants from the police station and see if I could throw him $100 and hop on this truck with me for the day. This is what's going through an entrepreneur's mind. So it's very important that if you're going into this and you have a partner, you have that talk with them prior to going into it. Why? Because if you don't and you get into the thick of things, this is where the problem comes in at. You don't want the issues to come in when you're in the mix of the shit. You want to have this conversation prior so that both parties know what they're getting into before they get into it. You got to be selfish at the beginning. If you're going to be the sole principal owner of the business, you have to be selfish. That business has 100% have to be your sole main priority right under God. Doesn't mean neglect your family, But in order for that business, if you're stepping away and that's your sole source of income, it's very imperative that that business is successful so that it can take care of the family. You can't half-ass the business that you're taking a risk on to take care of the family if this has become your only and sole source of income. It doesn't make sense. So when I listen to guys say, oh, I got a family, whether it be for financial reasons is misappropriating the funds, or because they want to come off the road, or because they only want to do one job or 2 moves a day instead of 3, or whether it's because they don't want to do final mile because they may get 14 stops a day, or because they are doing a dedicated run and it ends at 2, but they're not making enough money. I'm like, well, man, you're done with your route at 2. You still got a good 5, 6, 7 hours. You can still be out there making money. This is why, if you want to make more money in your business and kind of see your business scale and profit, you complain that your business is not making enough. You're done at 2. Why don't you go do this? Why don't you go do that? Well, man, I got a family. I got my wife, she be tripping. She want to see me, I want, like, man, listen, your pay to take care of your family. If you want that comfortability, you want that success that people like Kirk have seen, people like me, and other successful business owners that you may know in your life, you're going to have to bust your behind. Kirk got a wife and 2 kids, and he's on the road. Granted, Kirk has been in the business for just as long as me, so he knows how to maneuver where he may not have to be out as long as a person who's coming in. A person who's coming in may need to be out for 30 days, 45 days. Kirk doesn't have to do that because he has relationships. He's good at parceling. He's been in the business long time, so he has other assets. He has a nest egg. So Kirk is winding down. If you watch and listen to Kirk's story, he divested just like I did. That's the sign of a person. That's the sign of a person who's winding down. Why is he able to do that? Why have I been able to divest? Why? Because we made the sacrifices in the early years. We worked really, really hard for 10 plus years to get us to this point because this was the plan originally anyway. So if you're a person with a family, you have to duplicate that same thing. You have to work really, 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 really hard at the beginning, right? And be very, very selfish so that you can be selfless now. There's no way 10, 15 years ago, let's say YouTube existed when I got started. Let's say YouTube was around in 2014, my takeoff year. My first year, I first made my first M in 2014, my year where I scaled up. Let's say YouTube existed, but let's say live streaming existed then, which it did. And I heard about it and I started what I'm doing now. Let's say I did it then. There was no way I would be able to be consistent with it like I am now and be selfless with it like I am now. Why? Because I was too busy in the thick of it. That was my takeoff year. That was my year I made my first M. That was the year I scaled all the way up to my peak. And I was running like a bat out of hell. I didn't have the time. So I would have been one of them fair weather people. Not only would have been one of them fair weather people, I wouldn't have been able to sit here and talk to you guys the way I talk to you today as far as the information and the knowledge base, because I was only 4 years in at that point. There was a lot of things in 2014 that I knew, but then there was a lot of things that I still didn't know that happened years after that. I hadn't got into cross-docking yet. I hadn't lost an account yet. I didn't know what it was like to scale up and then get hit with a logistics company losing account, right? And then I get affected by it indirectly because I lose it now too by default indirectly because they lost it. And now I got to scramble and go find out where it's at and go, do all this, that, and the third. I hadn't been through that yet. Hadn't had a warehouse yet. Hadn't cross-docked yet. A lot of things that I went through after 2014, I wouldn't have been able to sit here and talk to you guys about now. The reason why I am selfless and I can sit up here and give you guys all this free information because I made a shit ton of money. I don't have to pimp nobody out. It's a lot of people out here that ain't been in this space 10% of the time I've been in it. And it's out here pimping people out. I don't have to do that. Why? Because I made all my money actually doing the work for years. So I can sit here and be selfless and educate people on the space. And not feel no way. I don't care. Mark, you're giving too much free info away. So, what is it to you? I hate when people tell me that, man, Mark, you giving too much info away. So, I wish somebody would have gave me all the info it took me all those years to learn at the beginning. I wish I would have got this info in 1998. I wish I would have got this info in 2003. I wouldn't have wasted time at Target and the advertising firm that I work for and all these goofball places running around doing all this goofball stuff that I was doing. Getting doors closed on me, opportunities getting, not being able to get opportunities. I was forced into entrepreneurship. So you got to make that sacrifice. You got to put God, the business, then everything else. If you continuously work hard at the beginning and you build and you build and you appropriate the funds correctly, you pay yourself modestly, pay yourself enough to take care of the family and to save a little bit on the side, put a little bit in the kitty, keep your business cash flow, repeat that process, scale, repeat that process. As the business starts making more money, you can reward yourself. Remember, your pay is measured based off the success of the business. Your pay is measured based off the success of the business. The more successful the business is, the more you can reward yourself with higher pay raises. And in order to continue to make the business more and more successful, you have to work. Eventually, it will come. Eventually, it will come. I think I'm going to stop there because it is, family, business is touchy. I don't want to rub anyone the wrong way. It took a lot of thought on how to present this. And I said I am going to keep it short, sweet, and to the point because I know I can get to talking. And then I get a little bit aggressive with it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to do that for this particular topic. I think people get it. If you didn't get anything in that, what time is it? How long have I been on here? 51 minutes. So let's say that 30-minute monologue, if you didn't get anything within that 30-minute monologue, I want you to just remember this one part. Because everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to have this successful business that they can either, sell it at one point, which probably would be the wise thing to do, or build it and pass it down to, your kids or whatever, or build this business and utilize this business as a step stool to create revenue, to invest into other avenues. However your financial freedom plan is set up. And out of everything I said in this past 30-minute monologue, the one thing I want you to remember is the money that you're going to be pulling out of your business. Obviously, remember, the business doesn't take care of your family. You take care of your family. And in order to really take care of your family and provide a better and better and better and keep growing that lifestyle for your family, you have to get paid. And you have to keep increasing your pay from the business. And in order to do that, your pay is always going to be measured based off the success of the business. And if you just remember that, that will force you to continue to drive yourself, motivate yourself, give yourself that ambition to keep pushing yourself to make that business more and more and more and more and more successful. All right? So let's do Q&A. What we got? 85 in here, 67 likes. Let's hit that like button. Let's hit that like button. Let me see. Kevin said, appreciate you. Big Hearn said some people are rushing the process. I see that a lot. And, if you rush the process, you can't rush the process. Listen, some people's climb to the top is going to be quicker than others. Some people's are going to be slower than others. Everybody's journey is going to be different. Some people comprehend a lot faster than others. Some people don't. Some people have a better head start. Me, I didn't have a family, didn't have any kids. I got to live at home. My OG didn't charge me anything. All I had was a cell phone bill. She allowed me to build my business while living under her roof and not having to pay no bills. So I was able to reinvest all my money back into the business. So a person who has a family, they may not be able to do that because they're going to have to pay themselves, right, something, right, because they have a family to take care of. But what I find strange is in this time frame, people have more opportunities than I had then. So even with a family and even with cost of living being higher, I still see myself many, many years ago with less opportunity outworking a lot of people here that should be working harder than me because they have more responsibilities. And on top of them having more responsibilities, they have more opportunities to get to the money. I had less opportunities. I didn't have to work as hard as I did. So I see myself back then working harder than some people now that I think should have been working harder than I was back then because they have more responsibilities. You made this decision. You made this decision to be a business owner. If you made this decision, it comes with hard work. When I look back on all the years, my early years, even 2020, I had to get back on the truck. I hadn't been on the truck in 7 years, man. When the pandemic hit and all those people left, I had to get back out there. I hadn't been on a truck in 7 years. I was out of shape. I had a big old belly. My face was, I had the Martin Lawrence face. Face was all... Clearly, I lost that because I ended up having to get back out there in 2020 and all through 2021 and 2022. So I got back in shape, started hitting the gym and doing that. But that's a business owner. I had to do what I needed to do for the business. I had to meet the needs of the business. So the big boss Mark had to humble himself. I had to humble myself. Pandemic hit. They was giving out all that money. The PUA, the Fed was giving out $600 a week. The state was giving out unemployment. Fed giving out $600 on top of that. You had people taking PPP. You had people taking the EIDL. People was getting paid for their kids. It didn't matter if you could just lie and say, I live with my grandma, and if I go out and I move people, I'm going into 3 or 4 different homes a day. I may catch something and bring it back home to Meemaw. And she's 70, 80 years old. Okay, you know what? All right, granted, you don't have to work. You can sit at home and we'll pay you $1,800 a week. How can I beat that? I can't beat that. So I got to take my black ass and get on one of these trucks, be thankful for the people who are willing to work. You know what I'm saying? Get my black ass on one of them trucks with one of them crews. And I had to go out 2020, 2021, and 2022. I realized in 2020, by the end of 2020, going into 2021, I said, you know what? They talking about shutting down again. I don't know how long this thing is going to go. My exit plan was for 2025. I said, you know what? At the end of next year, I can't do it no more. I'm too old. My last move was October 13th of 2022. That was the last time I was on a truck. Was a few days from now. A few days from now is my anniversary. Last October was the last time I physically did a move. I threw my shoulder out. I was doing live streams last year. I don't even think nobody know. I don't even think I told nobody, with a dislocated shoulder. Moving an armoire. So I had to move my exit date from 2025 up for me personally. I wasn't finna be on the truck because I realized wasn't nobody coming back to work. I also realized I would never be able to operate prior to the pandemic. The way I was able to operate prior to the pandemic, I knew I wasn't going to be able to operate like that no more. So I divested. I divested at the right time. You can sell a depreciating asset for 2-3 times what you purchased it for 10 plus years ago. Have at it, sucker. Best decision I ever made. Because if I would have held on, I would really be screwed right now. So I timed the market perfectly. But that's a business owner. I had to meet the needs of the business. Out of shape, had to get my big old fat, big stomach, Martin Lawrence, fat face butt back out on the truck, and I had to thug it out all through the pandemic. I had to meet the needs of the business. I couldn't be, the arrogant guy who had made it, that scaled the business up and just sit in the office all day and take naps and stuff. Couldn't do that. I had to humble myself and meet the needs of the business. So even when you reach that pinnacle of success, right? From doing all that hard work and you're coasting, and now you can spend that time with your family. You can take trips to Disney World and, do all this because you've invested and you made the sacrifices early on, right? And the business is coasting. You never know when something may hit and you may have to revert back to square one again. This is the life you chose, though. So just because you get to that pinnacle and that peak and everything's coasting, it don't mean that it may not be some type of event that may cause you to start back at ground zero. It may not be starting back at ground zero, man, you lose anything. For my situation, I had to get my butt back out on the truck after 7 years of not being on it. Who would have never thought a pandemic? Who would ever thought people were going to get temporarily rich off of free government assistance and stimulus and all that stuff? If you would have told me 10 years ago there's going to be an event that's going to happen in 2020 that's going to change the way people look at work, it's going to change people's mood towards work, it's going to change the landscape of work. People are going to go from 5 work days to 3 work days, 2 remote days, and all this goofball stuff. Once that event is over with after 2.5, 3 years, I wouldn't have believed you. People not working, I wouldn't have believed you. Why? Because I would have been in a mindset of a person in 2010, 2011, 2012. No, people have to work. What do you mean people? So you tell me the government just going to give everybody money? Man, I don't believe that. I'm telling you. In 2020, I wouldn't have believed it. But guess what? It happened. I had to adjust. I had to reformulate a new plan. Obviously, y'all know I'm good at forecasting and timing the market. So I timed the market correctly. That was a decision that I spent a lot of nights up, depressed. I was depressed. This is where the entrepreneur goes. I was depressed. Nobody wanted to work. What am I going to do? Should I divest? Man, the trucks are going for, people are spending this much money on used trucks. Damn, should I start selling all trucks? Well, what happens when this, whatever this is over with? And if I sell off trucks, what if people want to come back to work? Then I got trucks that's been paid for. Now I got to what should I do? I went with my first mind. Like my mama always told me, go with your first mind. My first mind told me that people are conditioned to this. It's been a year now. People haven't been working. They've been getting free money. It's going to be hard. Whenever this thing is over, it's going to be hard to get people to go back to work. It's going to be hard for people to unlearn what has been going on for the past, I don't know how many years, because I don't know how many years at that point it was going to continue to go on. It had been a year. And so at that point, let me take all this money. These people want to be suckers. And they want to buy this stuff for way more than what it's worth. Take this money, put it in a kitty, and we're going to see what happens. And by the grace of God, I made the right decision. But I went through a lot of sleepless nights, right? I went, I was out working again and hadn't did that level of work in 7 years. So it was tough. Those, the 2020, 2021, and 2022 were tough for me. Even though I was financially good, I wasn't mentally. It was worrying about a lot. Your business is, and you're going to get to this point when you become a successful business owner, your business is almost like another child. Your business is like another child. You worry about it. You worry about it. So even though I was financially good, I still was worried about the future of the business, the future of the industry, not understanding people's work ethic, not understanding people's mindset. And all this comes with being a business owner. All this. So just because, like I said, just because you get to that top doesn't mean, stormy roads or stormy season don't lie ahead. So, and that's why it's imperative that you appropriate your funds correctly. Like I was telling Big Zo last night, aggressively pay off brother-in-law. Get him out the way. You got the money, or you misappropriated the money. You had the money. He's your biggest. Well, he's not your biggest. Your truck, the van is, but that's an added expense that you need to aggressively pay off and get him out of the way, so that you can start seeing more money, making more money while you got this blueprint, while you got your youth. See, one thing about Big Zo, he got youth on his side. He got youth on his side. A lot of people that are coming into this space now, when I look at the ages, are a little older. You got some people that's 40, pushing 50, some people over 50. The beautiful thing about him, he got youth on his side. So get it in early. Get it in early. Get it in early. Set you a game plan. Set you an exit strategy. Make the sacrifices early. Be selfish early during the foundation so that you can be selfless. But even remember this, and then we're going to get into the Q&A. Even during the peak, when you get to that point and everything is on just coasting, always keep in the back of your head, it may not be something that's at fault of you. Always be prepared for the storm that may lie ahead. No one ever saw a pandemic coming. So don't think the pandemic didn't affect me either. It affected me in that adverse way. It didn't affect me financially. I actually made more money in the pandemic because I was able to sell off assets for an egregious amount of money, all simultaneously while charging an egregious amount of money because we upcharged people because we were working in those conditions. So I made a shit ton of money, But I beat myself up. I threw my shoulder out. I messed my knee up. My shoulder still ain't the same. Just doing this is popping. I got a trainer that I paid an egregious amount of money for a week and a therapist. Actually, he's my therapist is my trainer. So even though I'm physically strong, my shoulder ain't gonna never be the same. That like rotator, whatever the hell that is, he said when he talks to me, it's just like it's strong, but like you can't hear it, but it pops. I threw this one out years ago. This one recovered fine. This one, it's strong, but it still got that popping. So, your pay is measured based off the success of the business. So let's get into this Q&A, man. Let's get into this Q&A. Rotator cuff. Yeah, that's it. Let me see. All right, questions. Miguel, Calvin Birch, I don't have enough money to get a cargo van insurance yet, but I'm going to find a way to make things work by the grace of God. I gave you the blueprint. I told you what to do. All those apps that I talk about, I'm actually going to do a video and a live stream on them. That's where you start. There's no, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier. There's more opportunities now than when it was when I got started. There was no apps existed. As far as gig apps, you know what I'm saying? When I first started, it was only like the iPhone 3. The only apps that was on the App Store was like game apps, Uno, Monopoly, stuff like that. It wasn't no gig apps. So we had to go off Craigslist. You got opportunities. You got Roadie. You got GoShare. You got, Curry, Freight. There's a bunch of apps that you can do deliveries from. You don't even have to use apps. You could go to T-Force. They have car routes. They got medical routes for cars. They got retailer routes for cars. Zara, StockX, Abercrombie and Fitch. There's plenty of opportunities. Yeah, people will accept you to deliver at T-Force in your SUV. Yeah. Yep. Your SUV, your car. You said Pooh needs to have another option. Atheist here only had one option. I thought I gave the atheists the option. I gave y'all the option without saying you an atheist. I just put all business. So all business would be the atheist option. All business would be your option. YouTube only give me 4 options. They only give me room to place 4 options. So I thought about the atheists, and I didn't want to put atheist, so I just put all business. Let me see. Let's see. Can you talk about renting versus purchasing a box truck to get started? Sure. Renting a box truck, depending on what size box truck you're trying to rent, it's different now than when I got in. I think if you're renting a 16-foot box truck from Enterprise or Penske, I think those rates are really, really good still. For whatever it is you're doing. If you're doing something where you need a 26-foot box truck, it may be, there are some decent rates now. You know what I'm saying? There are some decent rates. Why am my screen freeze at right then and there? Hold on a second. Let's see. I don't like where it froze right there. There are some decent rates now. But if you're planning to go OTR, those miles are going to really, really add up. And, the rates may not be, the rates may not be good for a person who's just coming in, who's not going to have a lot of opportunity with a lot of different brokers, right? And your costs may just be too high for you to see any success. with renting a 26-foot box truck in today's current times running OTR. So, it all depends on what you're doing. If you're looking to like start moving, I would just go out and rent a 16-footer and do all 1 bedrooms and lower. Let me see. Just for a little side business, our college campus stayed with students needing to move to and from college. The college I worked for stayed with kids having U-Haul trucks and wanted to. Yeah, so I actually gave that in the one of those moving videos I talked about. I gave that blueprint of the college campuses. So the thing with college campuses is if you know someone that goes on to a college campus, in order to place on that classified, you have to have that email address. So you go to Stanford, Mark the Mentor at stanford.edu or whatever. So if you know someone on these different college campuses, ask them to use their email so that you can post in the classified moving ads. All right. And then also most of these colleges, parents have their own forum as well, where, they post different vendors and contractors that they use, that they feel are safe, that they can hire when they don't want to fly in and out of town to help their kids move and do things like that. So what'll happen is the parents will say, you know what, guys, I hired this company. The owner's name is Mark. They're a moving company, blah, blah, blah. They did a really good job. The guys weren't creeps. I really recommend, hiring this company if you got a kid that's on campus and you don't want to fly across country to help them out because people are creeps. Hire this company because these guys won't, do anything to your daughter or look at her funny or make her feel uncomfortable. So then you have to look out for those forums as well too, and make a little ad or have someone put a little good post up for you. Or when you do moves on these college campuses, make sure to ask the parents, if the parents are on site, if they do have a forum like that, which most college campuses do. The reason I know is because a lot of calls we've gotten over the years, parents are saying, hi, my name is Angie, and I found you guys on the parents of, University of Chicago. And, it's a forum where, parents post different companies and vendors that they use, and you've gotten good reviews. Multiple parents have hired your company to do moves for their kids. And I was wondering if we could hire you. So when you get in with these different organizations, you'll also see your business increase. When you become licensed, that's when you can start really dealing with bigger organizations like the Breast Cancer Awareness Organization, where you can put, the breast cancer awareness ribbon on, and then you get in those organizations. So whenever they need moves and they need a vendor to move, you'll be the person on the contact. Some other good information for you guys: senior citizens. Now, senior citizen moves from senior citizen living facilities, whatever they call it, senior living facilities, those moves can be a little difficult. And the reason why, it's not that they have a lot of stuff, which they don't have a lot of stuff. You're dealing with older people, so you may have some little pee stains and little boo-boo stains or something, little pee and boo-boo stains on the mattress, or, they may have like a bedpan, or, I'm just being honest, some of these senior living facility places, some of these older people, some places they're cared for good, some people they may not be cared for so good. So when you're moving a person, let's say from a senior living facility to like another senior living facility, or within that senior living facility from one, let's say, unit in that senior living facility to another unit, the good thing about that is once you get in good with those facilities and you come in, you're very professional, you don't tear nothing up, they'll just utilize you for all their moves, because what they'll do is they'll just charge it to the patient or to the attendant. They'll say, you know what, you can only utilize the moving companies that we allow to come in, or they'll recommend, we need to move. Okay, well, we got movers that we work with, and then they'll give you. So as you do more moves, you're going to get in with, it's good to get in with these organizations, because these organizations have hundreds and thousands of people, and they're going to recommend it because they have an index or directory, not an index. I'm sorry. They have a directory of different vendors that they use. So that's more sauce for you. Let's see here. Yeah, I just want to make sure I get all the questions. So, let me see. Oh, the Bears playing tonight? See, that lets you know I don't keep up with them. I was wondering why y'all was talking about the Bears. Like, I don't. That lets you know I don't even keep up with that shit. I didn't even know they was playing tonight. They must be playing away because I live literally right by the stadium. And it ain't no traffic. I ain't see nobody walking down. You know, they be out here early with they damn jerseys and shit on. Big Zoe, what up? Man, I've been getting hit up all day about last night. Thank you, Mark, for everything. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for standing in that circle, man. Appreciate you for standing in that circle. Let me see something. Y'all still talking about the atheists? Any questions? Simpex is another app. I just got approved. Forgot I even signed up. I've been loading up on all apps I can use. So yeah. So let's talk about that real quick. Now it's time to start. And I told people this last year. Maybe y'all will listen to me this year. I think I'm credible now. All right. I've been on YouTube a little over a year and a half. I know last year I wasn't credible because there was so much fugaga. You know, it's kind of hard to decipher. Why is my damn screen keep freezing, bro? I know it was a lot of people to filter through last year, but now all the smoke is clear. Everybody knows who's who and what's what. All right. So listen, I'm going to tell you now, like I told you last year. I told you last year where the money was going to be made for peak season. It's going to be the same thing this year. All right. So what those apps did last year is they got so much overabundance of people signing up, they cut it off and they made a waiting list. Don't wait to the last minute. Start signing up for those apps now. Start signing up for those apps now. Let me show you. I pulled this out on one of them Saturday nights. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back. What was that? Last December. Let's go. Let's see. I know I showed this on one of the live streams I did one Saturday, like a few Saturday nights ago. So the money is going to be made. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Nope. Wait, hold on. No, that's went back too far. Hold on. December. I'm looking for December. Let me show y'all some. Let me show y'all December. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Let me show y'all some. All right, boy, let's show this one. I know I showed this before, but let's show it again. Some of y'all might not seen this live. Let me share my screen. I can't see. All right, so boom. This is why you need to sign up for the gig apps now so you can be on there. This is a car route. Just delivering t-shirts. This was last year, peak season. It was 28 deliveries. The route was 100 miles. The route time was about 3 hours and 41 minutes. $478. If you don't believe it was just t-shirts, it's 28 stops, totaling 32 items. The heaviest item was 2 pounds. The total weight of the 32 items was 19 pounds. It was just t-shirts. It's people running box trucks that's not making $500 in a day. And they doing way heavier work. This is why you need to have the gig apps. Here's another one. This one paid $497 for 29 deliveries. This route was only 76 miles. This is on the Roadie app. 3 hours. Heaviest item, 2 pounds. Total weight for all 34 items, 29 deliveries, 20 pounds. $497. Fanatics. For those of you know what Fanatics is, it's a company owned by Mark Rubin. Just sports apparel. T-shirts, basically. I can keep going. I made sure I screenshotted them. A lot of the good ones last year. Here's a good one. This one was 26 deliveries, 33 miles, $156. What else? Yep, so that's where the money is going to be made peak season, guys. So it's imperative that you sign up for these apps now so that you can make sure that you're in there before you get locked out and they start a waiting list. Here's another one. This is 28 stops, $384, 95 miles. So no, you don't. No DOT needed for those apps. Can you run a cargo van under the same MC as your box truck, or should they be separated? Yeah, you can run a cargo business if your business, it's your trucking business. So you just adding a cargo van to your fleet. Yeah. When do you think the gig peak kicks in? I think the gig peak will kick in starting Black Friday. So obviously Black Friday, right? Because a lot of people are going to order things online, and that's when all the gig apps. So Black Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday, and then all over again for Cyber Monday, Tuesday, and then you're going to get the overflow for Cyber Monday. Obviously, the heaviest is going to be, so Black Friday, right? Because people are going to be ordering online. A lot of people are going to order same day. So you're going to get all that, plus you're going to get all the deliveries, orders from the people who were placing those orders on Thanksgiving Day. So Black Friday is going to kick it off. That Saturday, that Sunday, and then boom, you're going to get a new resurgence for Cyber Monday. So Cyber Monday, that Tuesday, that Wednesday, right? And then obviously it's gonna still be busy, but it's gonna die down because that's when you get that bulk of people buying from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, right? And then for the rest of the holiday season, you'll just be running. Yeah, I coach for Cargo Van too. Did Zoe get his truck situation? Did Zoe get his truck situation on his route handled? I don't know. He in the chat. Joe, did you get that handled? And did you talk to brother-in-law about that 100% interest that you paying? Miguel said some expensive t-shirts. I think what happens is when there's just an overabundance of delivery, when the volume is up, and you have these apps that have promised people same day delivery, sometimes they have to pay a lot of money to get the stuff done. But you got to remember, it's retail, it's clothes, so the markup on clothes is ridiculous. They might have a 400-500% margin. These clothes is getting produced in sweatshops. So these shirts is getting produced for pennies on the dollar with shipping, with international shipping. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they got plenty of room. They got plenty of room, you know, so do you recommend hiring someone to run a single person for final mile? I mean, if there's room, if there's margin to hire a guy and still be able to profit, then yeah, go for it. You gotta know what it's gonna cost you to hire that guy. So you need to know what the route is paying, what your fixed and variable costs are gonna be, right? And then if you got some room to hire a guy, then yeah, hire a guy. You know, just need to know how much margin you got. Do I know what app does medical supply? Spoke. Well, not Spoke. Spoke is not an app. I'm sorry. Spoke is a 3PL. Nah, I haven't. I saw some guy promoting the app, but I'm not really into medical supply delivery, so I really don't do it. But I know T-Force has a medical supply. They have dedicated medical supply routes. T-Force does. It's not an app, it's a 3PL. So you can check T-Force. Now, I can tell you this, Rody has prescription pickup, I believe. Rody has prescription pickup. It's not medical supply, but it's prescription pickup. But as far as straight medical supply app, I don't know. Usually when people want to do medical supply, I refer them to T-Force for a dedicated medical route. You could do that in your car. You don't need a van. You don't need a truck. You could do that in your car. Let's see. You should have the option to select none of the above to get more accurate results. Well, man, if it's none of the above, then that means you don't put God first. That means you don't put business first. You don't put family. So then, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it next time. Oh, let me see. Big Zoe says, yes, put my truck in the shop. Got a 16-foot rental to run the Staples contract and the moving while my truck is down. Got my CPA working on my books now, and I'm getting up with bro to revise the deal. All right, well, sound like you listen to me. So shout out to you. We're going to give you a hand clap. What's your highest margin? 20%. I got a career average of 20%. 20%. So I've always operated for the most part at 20%, and that's where I try to keep it at. So 20% has been my career average. Shout out to you, Big Zoe. T-Force Medical offered me $100 to $200 to run 200 to 400 mile routes. If it's for a medical route, medical routes don't pay. That's why I never did them. That's why I don't know them. I don't think about, like, me personally, I know they don't pay. You know, I've never did them. I never, desired to do them because I've always dealt with bigger equipment. You know what I'm saying? I know they don't pay. I don't talk about them. They just don't pay. So, yeah, what they told you is about right. And believe it or not, people do it faithfully. They show up every day in their cars. They run those 200 miles for that little $100 and $200. They do it every day. Yeah, but not my type of money. I've never desired to do it because it's just not my type of money. But yeah, those medical routes, they don't pay. So, if you got a car, Rody, so like the one that I showed a few minutes ago, Rody, I would definitely sign up for Rody. I would sign up for Roadie, Carry, GoShare. You want to throw in the big box ones, so you want to do your Amazon Flex. You also want to do. I've heard good things about the Walmart one, Spark. I heard good things about that one for like your Black Friday going through your Cyber Monday weekend. A quick story: Kirk's wife bought a 75-inch like 2-3 weeks ago, and she ordered it, right? And a Spark, Walmart Spark delivery gig app person was summoned to pick it up. And guess what? When they got there, they were in a car, couldn't fit it. They sent another guy, a car, couldn't fit it. This went on for 4 days, right? Because most people that are on Spark, most people that are on Flex, most people that are on a lot of these gig apps that operate in their personal vehicle, they're in cars. They're in economy cars because they're gig based workers. So they have something that's economical. Priuses, Sonatas, Elantras, Accord, Civics, Camry, stuff like that. So when people order TVs, which people order a lot of TVs on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which I saw last year on the Roadie app when I was screenshotting this, they were just sitting there because all these guys that are professional gig workers, they couldn't fit them. So a person who does have something, man, you could have like a Transit Connect. It doesn't even have to be a full, cargo van. But if you have a cargo van or something like that, Black Friday to Cyber Monday weekend, like, you need to be out getting it. If you got a cargo van, you need to be out first thing in the morning. You need to be out at 5, 6 a.m. Black Friday, and you need to work that thing until you can't keep your eyes open Black Friday. You need to be out Saturday, you need to be out Sunday, and then Cyber Monday, you need to be back out at 6 a.m. again until you can't keep your eyes open. That's the blueprint for that weekend. You need to get it. Most of the jobs that you're going to be able to get, you're going to get all the TVs. You don't have to deal with none of the smaller stuff. Because leave all that small shit for the regular guys who do this shit when it's not peak season and when it's not Cyber Monday, when it's not Black Friday. Leave all that small shit for them. Those big 65-inch and them 75-inch TV, they can't touch them. So let me get back to the story. So after 4 days of Walmart, trying to get Spark people off the Spark app, which is their app, to pick it up, nobody on the app had a vehicle big enough to take the 75-inch TV. So what she ended up doing was renting a van, going to pick it up herself, and Walmart, and I hope Kirk don't kill me for telling this story because he probably wanted to tell on his channel. Walmart ended up reimbursing her for the cost of the van rental, and they reimbursed her for the TV. So she got the TV for free. They sent her a long email letter apologizing. Why? Because they have a service that they sell you at the point of purchase. When you purchase something online, they offer the delivery to you, right? Utilizing the app that they built out that's on their own network, which is Spark, but they don't have enough service providers on there with vehicles large enough to sell products that they actually sell in the store. So they sent her a long email apologizing. They refunded her for the TV, and they refunded her for the cost of her renting and picking the stuff up. So she got the TV for free. So I said that to say this. It's going to be a lot of TV sold Black Friday. So if you got a van, go get it. Go get it. Go get that money. Yeah. See, Kirk and them, they in PA, so. Let me see. Why do guys get scared of 2-man dedicated league? What's their issue with 20% profit on 190,000? They think OTR is better. I've spoken on this before, and last year when I came on YouTube, when Amazon was just the big shit, and I was talking about Final Mile, content creators were laughing, saying, don't nobody want to carry no refrigerators and this, like that. Carrying refrigerators, moving in Final Mile has made me a very profitable man. And I know I've made a lot more money doing moving than people may have ever made doing Amazon Relay or doing OTR. You know what I'm saying? The harder the work, the more money it is. You know, 190 is okay, but in this market, you're making 250 to 300,000 for a dedicated final mile route. I've had moving days where I've made $4,000 or $5,000 on one move. You know, my average moving days at peak, I'm doing $5,000-$6,000 a day, all summer, every day, all summer. The point, to answer your question, the reason why people don't want to do it is hard work. It's labor intensive work. I don't know if you were here earlier. Like my last day on the truck, I had to get back out in the field during the pandemic, and I threw my left shoulder out last year. It was an armoire. My arm was probably about 300 pounds. I had already injured my shoulder, but messing with that armoire just took it all the way out. Actually, when we were hooked, I was squatting, I was ready to stand up, and when I came up, the weight just from the strap on my shoulder, it just took it. It tipped over. I tried to catch it. Luckily, I was on a 3-man crew, so the other guy on the other end of the strap, me on this end of the strap, and the other guy was right there. So when it tipped over, he was there to catch it. The customer felt bad. I was embarrassed because the customer's standing right there. And she was like, man, I've been moving this thing for 20 years, and every moving company that we hire just has trouble with this thing. I just feel bad. She was like, man, excuse my French. She was like, fuck it. Just put it in the garage. I'm done with this thing. The husband was like, thank God. She was like, yeah, I've been moving this thing for 20 years, and every moving company had trouble with this thing. And like, she felt bad because like my shoulder was done. It was done. And that's why, you know, it's labor intensive. It's hard work. Some people just don't want to do hard work. The harder the work, the more money it makes. If you do moving for a good 10 years, you'll be a very wealthy man. If you're able to do moving, scale, you don't even have to scale up. If you can scale up to 3 moving trucks, a 16-footer and 2 26-footers, millionaire in 3 years. Millionaire in 3 years, maybe less. If you can build your business out to run those trucks consistently from the last week of March to the last week of September, consistently, 1 16-footer and 2 26-footers, 2 to 3 years, millionaire. And that's just doing local moves, and you can throw in long distance moves in between. The long distance moves, you're gonna really check a bag. You know, for me to go to California, it's 20,000 without me even coming to do a visual. Just to go there, starting at 20 grand, without even looking, without even doing a visual. Just to go there is 20. So I've told people time and time again, if you watch the channel, I've told people time and time again, like, if you really want to make money with a box truck, start a moving company. Why do you think the migrants and the people who come from south of the border, they come up here, they start lawn care service, they go buy a box truck, right? Next thing you know, after they get that box truck, next thing you know, they got 2-3 box trucks, and in 3 years, they driving a Ford F-150 Shelby, Ford F-250. They got a $100,000 pickup truck, right? 6-inch lift kit. Then they go get their business license. How? Because once they get a handle on a box truck and they start moving, they making money hand over fist. They making hundreds of dollars an hour. And they live modest. And this is how they're able to come up here and become successful very, very quickly. Once they get their hand on a box truck or a lawnmower and a pickup truck, either they're going to get their hand on a lawnmower, a pickup truck, a lawnmower, and a trailer, or a box truck. They get their hand on a box truck, they moving. They all moving. They go get another box truck. By year 3, they got 3 box trucks. They gone. You figure you doing a 1-bedroom apartment move, that's taking anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. That's taking anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And you charging $150, $200 an hour or $300 an hour if you're charging $100 an hour per man plus truck fee plus markup on materials if you're charging for the materials. So if you market it where, man, you only can take 3 men, boom, you making $300 an hour. Let's say each move you doing 1 bedrooms, each one averages out to 3 hours. You do 3 of them a day. That's 9 hours. Right? Let's say you charging $300 an hour. Plus, let's say another $150 truck fee. So you're making $1,050 off each move. 2 men in a truck make an egregious amount of money. They're not coming out doing nothing less than $1,000. You can have a 2-3 hour move. It's going to cost you at least $1,000. No cap. I'd say it all the time. But everybody want to drive over the road. Everybody want to do curbside. Everybody want to do big and bulky. Everybody want to do a cargo van because don't nobody want to work. This is why I can sit here at 43 comfortably and talk to y'all, because I started in the moving business. Did it for years. That's how I was able to jump into the trucking business when the opportunity presented itself, because I had a shit ton of money because I had already been moving for 3 years. When I jumped into the trucking, the final mile business, I was running 3 trucks a day for moving. Don't nobody want to do the work. That's why. They scared, because they scared of the work. They scared of the physical labor. They scared of this. Hold on. I'm going to show you what they scared of. This is what they scared of. Hold on. I'm going to show you what they scared of. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. We got 110 in here. We got 86 likes. Hit that like button. Hold on. I'm going to show you what they scared of. Let me see something. Let me find a good one for y'all. Let's see. Is this a good one? What is this? I want to get a piano. I want to show y'all a piano. I'll do this one. Y'all might get scared of a piano.
Ever eat processed food for every single meal of their life.
Hold on.
Boiling their dogs.
It's amazing to me how many people write in about their dogs changing for the better. The farmer's dog is just our way to help people take care of them.
Okay, we've been showing a lot of videos in my channel.
I told you it was Julio.
How to take furniture different ways upstairs, so you can choose the best way for you, especially for if you're a mover. You know, we're showing, you know, very different tips how to take upstairs any heavy furniture. You won't get hurt because all the lift, all the heavy, the weight is on your back and then or your legs, so you're fine. I think this is the best way to do it. You can try by hand, which is good too. But when you go upstairs, it's better like this way. Uh, some people like that, some people not,
All right, these are the shoulder straps that they use.
because they're not used to. That's why they don't like it, and they're not really movers. All you gotta do is be, and you're good to go.
Now, definitely not a licensed moving company, like I said, because they don't have any uniform shirts on. There's no uniformity to them. But this goes back to what I said.
The guy doesn't have to be on top. It needs to be that he's good to you can just always find it on, or warehouse tools, any online, or any, or Northern Tools, any other or warehouse.
They're going up a winding staircase.
Warehouse, you can get these straps. Try it, and it's worth it, and they're not really expensive. And thank you for watching. Any question, comments? I would appreciate it. Any likes, don't likes, I appreciate it too. And all respects for everybody. Thank you.
Now y'all see where I threw my shoulder out, how that strap was kind of setting. That dresser they got, that ain't heavy as an arm.
Are you a man who's looking to overcome
an arm I had was about 300 pounds. Is this a piano? Let's look at this piano.
Are you still wearing enough layers to insulate Alaska? That's why you need the new and improved Bear.
Well, you had to be strong too, man. You gotta be strong. Get up. Yeah. Like 250 pounds, something like that.
They making it look easy, but that's not easy. It's not easy at all. That piano is heavy.
Four flights of stairs in under a minute.
Yeah, right there.
Keep risky, man.
Yep. So that's why you want the money or not. That's why. So you do that for me to come out and move a piano, $500 just to even talk to me about it. Just to even talk about it is $500. Just to even get me on the phone to think about it is $500. So it's that's why don't nobody want to do it. That's why don't nobody want to do it. That's why don't nobody want to do it. Those guys make it look easy. If you see me out there, I make it look easy because I got the technique, been doing it for years, know how to use the straps, know how to put the straps on, know how to position the straps, use my legs, use my core, you know what I'm saying, keep my back straight. A lot of people who get into this business, this moving business, and they're just not physically sound, where they may have maybe, let's say, strong upper body, but they got a weak core, or maybe let's say a strong upper body and they got weak legs and a weak core. What happens is they may be able to get it up because they got a strong upper body, but what happens is once they start hitting them stairs and they get to that first flight, oh man, I can't make it. Set it down. And then that's where the catastrophe starts to happen, and that's all she wrote. So that's why don't nobody want to do it. That's why don't nobody want to do it. but it's been talks about the automated trucks operating off artificial intelligence. You think would change the landscape of trucking? I think that's probably years. We probably won't even be alive when that happens. You know, if it does happen, I just don't think some markets you can't run an unmanned vehicle. I know they're testing it out in Arizona, Texas, but you come up here in the Midwest, you can't run an unmanned vehicle. Why? Because of the weather element. And this is where all the freight is. So I don't think I don't see that. I don't think I don't see that happening. What I do see happening is they may do unmanned vehicles from certain terminals to certain terminals within a company. So, for instance, Amazon ordered like 1,100 fully autonomous trucks. They're still on order. They haven't been delivered yet. I know Pepsi ordered some, so on and so forth. So let's take Amazon for example. In markets where the government or the state has allowed fully autonomous vehicles to operate, like Arizona, Texas, places like that, where they have, you know, good climate conditions, they'll probably utilize fully autonomous vehicles to run from, let's say, one Amazon facility to another. So, you know, they'll load the truck up, the truck will navigate from that facility to another Amazon facility. It'll back itself into the dock, and then they're going to use probably artificial intelligence to unload it. But to, you know, go to specific spots where it requires a man, where it's not terminal to terminal, where you got to do, you know, hands-on work is required, or let's say coming up to the Midwest. No, why? Because we have snow, we have black ice. It gets ugly up here, right? So in these markets, no. Now, the effects of that, all right, when that does start to come into play, people who have those routes, for instance, let's say we're running from one Amazon terminal to another Amazon terminal, people that are actually physically doing those routes now, those routes are going to get replaced, right? Which means there's going to be less work for truckers, which means everyone is going to probably have to go into markets where fully autonomous vehicles won't be allowed, hence the Midwest, or hence areas where the weather conditions just won't allow it. So it's going to be less opportunity, right, because of it, and it's going to force people into markets. And then when that does start to come in play, stuff that you see happening now is just going to happen all over again. It's just going to be more increased competition, and less markets. So that's how I look at it. You know, some markets is just not going to fly. I know it's already happening. You know, they're running a route. Walmart is running a route down in Texas from facility to facility with fully autonomous trucks. Amazon ordered 1,000. They're just waiting on them. Pepsi, they got 3 so far. And I don't know how many they ordered, but I know they had a media day where they showed the first 3 that they got. So yeah, it's happening slowly but surely, but it's not gonna happen all over. It can't. You know what I'm saying? You said they didn't have arm straps at 2 men in the truck? That's crazy. What did y'all use for pianos and big armoires and dressers if y'all didn't have forearm straps or shoulder straps? Throughout my business career, what was my finest moment? When I did my taxes in 2015, and my my accountant said, "Congratulations, you made your first $1 million." That was my first memorable moment. I think no, that wasn't my first memorable moment. I'm sorry. My first memorable moment was when I bought my first truck. So I had been renting trucks, and then I said, you know what? I can cut costs. Because this goes back to what I was talking about in the monologue. I was renting trucks, and I had become accustomed to just renting trucks, and I was just brainstorming. I'm like, man, I'm renting 3 trucks. It's okay because it's only costing me $300 a week for each truck back then, and one move is covering the first move of the week that each truck does covers the truck for a week. But I'm like, man, that's $900 I could be saving. That's money I could more $100 I could be putting in my pocket. So that's when I started looking at trucks. So when I bought my first truck, that was the first proudest moment because I knew, I started with a pickup truck, then I went and rented a truck, then I went and rented a second truck, third truck, then I just kind of kept steady at that 3 Penske trucks for like maybe a year, right? Maybe a year and a half. And then when I went and bought that truck, October 8th of 2013 is when I bought my first truck. I remember the dates, man, because that's how special it was to me. So October 8th of 2013 is when I bought my first truck. And that was probably the finest moment. Then the next finest moment is when I did my taxes, March of 2015 for 2014, and my accountant said, "Congratulations, you made your first $1 million." So that's probably the second one in sequential order that I can remember off the top of my head. So all right. What's the best way to enter in a business with 100K? If you got 100,000, shit. The same way you're gonna enter with 10,000. You're gonna do a lot of research, and you're going to formulate a business plan to determine, which lane you want to enter. I would still enter very, very, very minimal at whatever, the lowest initial cost as possible, because just because you have, more working capital than, majority of people that would be entering in the space, you still want to enter in as low as possible because the margins in this business are very small, right? So, yeah, extensive research, formulate a business plan, and then whichever lane that you decide to enter into, just try to enter into it very economically. You want to enter economically as modest as possible. You don't want to spend an overabundance of money if you don't have to. Yeah, I saw that video. The guy who moved the fridge off the pickup with a dolly. Not something I would recommend, but, do what you got to do it sometime. Shout out to Back At It. Appreciate you. I might have to follow that blueprint while I'm young. It's just a workout. It sounds like, if J. Cole, if you young, if you under 30, man, listen, I'm going to say it again. I say it all the time. If you really want to make a lot of money with a box truck, start a moving company. I don't care what nobody else tell you. You're going to make way more money with a moving company than Amazon, than OTR, than Curbside Final Mile, than Big and Bulky Final Mile. Anything that you can do with a box truck, you're going to make the most money starting a moving company. You're going to make money locally egregiously. You're going to make money long distance egregiously. There's no middleman. You can scale with the cost of the economy. All the money is coming directly to you. You don't pay for nothing. Just like I told Big Zo last night, even a credit card transaction, you charge that back to a customer. By law, you can charge up to 4%. So if the credit card transaction costs you 3.5, you charge the customer 3.5% processing fee on top of their total. You don't pay for nothing. 20% markup on the supplies if you choose to do. If you don't want to bake the supply cost into a truck fee, you're charging for the use of the truck, and you're charging for each man labor. The going rate right now for a man, depending on your market, could be anywhere from $50 to $100 an hour per man. All right, so me, $100 an hour per man, right? Paying guys $30 an hour. The company makes $70 an hour off each man. You're making money off the truck because you're charging that truck fee to each customer, And if you don't want to bake the supplies into the cost of the truck fee, then you charge a 20% markup for the supplies. Some companies charge you for the supplies and they charge you for each item they wrap. So some companies will charge you $50 for a roll of shrink wrap, and then they'll charge you $10 for each item they wrap. So you're paying for the shrink wrap, and then you're paying for it again for each item they wrap. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, moving is where the money is at. But like, he asked me earlier, why don't people do it? Because don't nobody want to do no hard work. So, let me see. He thinks fully autonomous trucks are stupid. We all know computers go haywire. What happens, God forbid, if the computer doesn't recognize the person walking in there, turn around, speed bump? Well, that's going to happen. It's already happened with the fully autonomous rideshare cars. I know it happened, I think, in Philadelphia or Arizona. I think a fully autonomous Volvo or fully autonomous Tesla that was doing rideshare for Waymo or Tesla or Uber or whatever company does fully autonomous rideshare hit a person that was crossing the street. That's going to happen. That's inevitable. It's going to happen. Computers do go haywire. It's just going to happen. That's the cost of doing business to the fully autonomous company. And they know it's eventually going to happen, and they're just going to have to settle it. Somebody's family is going to get some millions and millions of dollars to make their life comfortable for the rest of their life. It may not bring back the person who the fully autonomous vehicle deleted, but they're going to compensate the family with an egregious amount of money to make their life comfortable for the rest of their life. And that's just the way these businesses look at it. They don't look at it as nothing personal. They look at it as just business, and it was an unfortunate situation, but because they have the capital to make a person's family's life comfortable, they're just going to pay it off. In most cases, the family, will grieve a lot easier with an extra $20-30 million or whatever the lawsuit is. So, I got a few people in my email. I haven't decided who I'm gonna go with next. But yeah, I got to make that decision in the next day or two. What's the routes like at T-Force? I know it depends on your market, but on average, how many stops, how many pieces? So when I was doing it, back when it was Dynamics, my trucks were getting 50 to 60 stops a day on average. 50 to 60 stops a day. Right now, depending on market, some markets are paying as low as $1.50. Some markets are paying as high as $2.60 a piece. So it all depends on your market. So I paid myself $200,000 a year, and the company was cash flow positive $200,000. That's a no-go for me. I'm 36. I get up, sit on the side of my bed, let my joints run like a diesel engine. Yeah, moving is tough, especially if you've never done it, and trying to start it at like 36. Like, if I needed to help someone move or get out there and do it, I could do it. I know, what limitations I can get to, but I go to the gym 5, sometimes 6 days a week. I got a personal trainer 3 days a week. So, I'm physically fit, and could do the work. But as you age, what I'm saying, working out in the gym and bench pressing 225 pounds is different from moving an armoire that's 250, 300 pounds up a flight of stairs or up 2 flights of stairs. It's different. It's different because the fundamentals of bench press and laying on your back or doing an upright bench press, or let's say like a flat bench press, your shoulders are locked, your back is arched, and you're using, your shoulders, you're using your chest, your triceps to push up. when you're carrying something like how these guys were carrying that piano, the weight is being distributed. It's sitting on the center of the strap, but you got that strap on your shoulder, so you're trying to keep your back straight. Man, why this thing it's like it freezes when I'm doing the weirdest poses. But you got that strap centered. You got the arm are centered on the center of the strap, and all that weight is still on your shoulders too. And you're going up a flight of stairs trying to keep your back straight because you don't want to go back because you'll mess your back up. So you're trying to keep your back straight, keep this, and all go up. It's different. It's different. And even with them with the piano, the moment you arch your back straight, boom, your back is messed up. You could throw your shoulders out. Hopefully the guy that's going backwards up the stairs, he doesn't give out, because if he does, you on the bottom. So now that thing finna fall on you. It's a dangerous job. So not only is it taxing on the body, it's dangerous. So yeah, man. But that's where the money at. So I divested most of my fleet during the pandemic. The trucks that I have now, we do special projects. If we're not doing a special project for like a celebrity or a big a big project, then they parked. So I got an account with this company called Fitness Superstore, and those are really big projects. Why do I keep thinking about projects? So they'll send, like, say, a full gym to an Estes terminal. For those that are familiar with Estes, ESTES, and we're summoned to go pick up the gym. It could be a truckload or 2 truckloads, and then deliver it and assemble it. A project like that can take a week, and a project like that pays 5 figures. So a lot of those projects I turn down. You know what I'm saying? I kind of take them as I go. They send me projects every day for my area, Northwest Indiana, going up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's just that's a very taxing account. It pays a lot, but it's just taxing. Putting together full commercial gyms is not easy. Pays a lot, but it's not easy. So if you don't mind answering, appreciate your content. Yeah, I don't mind answering. You must be new. I've said it before, but no, it ain't a big deal. How much for the blueprint? Nothing. Just go look at the content. If you need strategy, then just go to my website. You can go through my content. You may be able to get everything you need without booking a coaching session. Just go through the content. If you need a strategy, then just go to my website, www.boxtruckcourses.com. But look through the content first. You may not need a coaching session. I'm 23. I'm saving up for a box truck, but I just don't have enough. So I'm thinking about going the rental route. What do you think? If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Just, if you're going OTR, you need to make sure that you're getting a pretty good rate on the rental and a pretty good rate on the mileage. If you're doing local, you may come out a little better. But, if you're 23, me personally, I probably would start more bootstrap beginnings, more grassroots beginnings, more humble beginnings. You might want to start maybe with a cargo van and work your way up. A box truck can be very, very challenging. And because you're only 23, you're going to pay an exorbitant amount of money for commercial auto insurance for your truck. And that's just the God's honest truth. So if I were you at 23, I would probably seriously think about starting from more humble beginnings with a cargo van, allowing yourself to learn the business, allowing yourself to age a little bit more above 25 so you don't have to pay that exorbitant under 25 commercial insurance rate. It's going to be high even when you're over 25, but it's not going to be as high when you're under 25. You go out and you get a 2017 box truck, you would get a 2017, 2018 box truck, 2016, and because you're 23, you're going to be paying well over $2,000 a month for insurance, no cap. Maybe in the upwards of damn near $3,000. So I would start with something a little bit less liability driven, something smaller with a cargo van, and I would really, really work that cargo van. Or if you don't want to do OTR and you want to get in the box truck, you can look at a 16-foot box truck. This will allow you to do moves up to 1 bedroom, maybe 2 bedrooms if they're a modest 2 bedroom and you're an excellent packer. Your insurance isn't going to be as high as it would be being under 25 for a 16-foot box truck as it would be for a 26-foot box truck. And you can start a small moving company, or you can get a dedicated route with one of those office supply deliveries, and you could supplement that in the afternoons and the evening with doing odd, jobs out that 16-foot, small moves, small, odd end, deliveries with that 16-foot box truck if you don't want to go the sprinter route. Appreciate you. I couldn't do it now. What you say? I haven't been in the gym for over 4 years. I'm completely out of shape. Yeah. If you 46, I wouldn't recommend getting started. If you have experience doing it and you constantly in the gym, then you probably could do it on a smaller scale, maybe 1 bedroom, something small, like 4 houses. It's older people that do it, but they've been consistently doing it for years and years and years. Like a lot of these family-owned and operated moving companies, like All in the Family and All My Sons, all these franchises are owned by families. And then that's when you see grandpops out there. Grandpops won't be lifting nothing, but he'll be wrapping everything in the house. And then the younger family members, the grandsons, they'll be doing all the heavy lifting. And then pops will be in wrapping stuff and prepping stuff, breaking down beds. So you'll see old guys from these old traditional franchise moving companies like All My Sons, All in the Family, Mayflower, Wheaton, Atlas, all these van line companies. But they've been doing it years and years and years, and they got a system to that. The younger generations do the heavy lifting while the older generations just do all the modest stuff like wrapping the furniture and breaking down the beds and disassembly and reassembly and stuff like that. Power only or do a final mile as a 26 box truck. What would you choose? I have my CDI. I have an opportunity to run power only or do final mile as a 26 foot box truck. What would you do? Well, there's always going to be more opportunity on the semi truck side. That's just the honest to God truth, right? So, me, I always want to I would make it easy on myself. So I'm gonna go where there's more opportunity, where the opportunity is plentiful. So that's what I would do. I would go where the opportunity is more plentiful. In your opinion, what's the best bank to start your business account with? That all depends. I've never been a big bank. I've always dealt with smaller private banks, but unfortunately, the small private bank that was a local franchise bank was acquired by Fifth Third. So I've always banked with local independent banks. I was with the same bank since I was a kid because my mom was with them when I was a kid, and I, inherited, just got an account there because they watched me grow up. But that bank was acquired by Fifth Third. So I'm with Fifth Third. I've been with Fifth Third since the bank that I have been with over 20 years got acquired. I mean, Fifth Third is okay. I haven't had any issues with them. But I haven't really banked with any other bank. I banked with Manufacturers Bank, and then when they got turned into MB Financial, which a lot of you probably never heard of. Then when MB Financial got acquired a few years ago by Fifth Third, I've been with Fifth Third. So I've never done the Chase. I've never done the Bank of America. I've never done those types of banks. So, have I ever thought about getting into the semi? Yeah, I thought about it a few times. I thought about it heavily in 2017. I actually went to progressive truck school and did the consultation, and this is back when getting a CDL was $2,500. I was thinking about adding semi trucks to my fleet, and I said, you know what? In order for me to scale into semi trucks, it's probably best that I go at least get my CDL, so I at least know how to drive my own trucks and move them around the yard and things of that nature. So I went. It was $2,500. I was supposed to go back, but I couldn't find the time to actually take the class because I was busy running a business. So they told me it was only going to be 30 days, but I just didn't have 30 days to take the course. I thought about it again during the pandemic, when I was in my divesting phase. But after I assessed the market and I divested, you know what I'm saying? I looked at the industry as a whole, and it just didn't make sense for me to invest in semi-trucks because everything that I forecasted that I was not sure about because I had never seen anything like a pandemic. I've never lived through one, I meant to say. So, but when I made the decision to, take advantage of the inflation and divest my assets at an appreciated value, which never ever happens, I said, you know what? I think it may, if everything goes the way I'm thinking it's going to go, why would I invest in a semi truck? So I did think about it during the pandemic, but ultimately I decided against it, which I'm glad I did. But those are the two times that I heavily thought about getting into the semi business. No problem. Let me see. Yeah, one of Kirk's guys was paying $4K at that age. Yeah, insurance can be that high if you're young. I've known people who weren't young that were paying $3,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on your MVR, depends on your age, it depends on your market, depends on a lot of things. So you're waiting to start because you're 24? Yeah, if you're waiting to start because you're looking at a box truck, that's one thing. But, you can always get not a semi truck, a cargo van. A cargo van is, it's money in cargo vans. Listen, y'all, for everybody that thinks this box truck thing is, the end all be all, it's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get into the box truck business, you can get into the box truck business. If you listen, and for everybody that's new, you need to go back and watch some of my old content. I got a series on cargo van versus box truck. I got like a few videos on cargo vans versus box trucks. You know what I'm saying? I got content on, box truck dreams and cargo van money. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to be honest with yourself. And then there's nothing wrong with starting at small and scaling up. I see more people start small and work their way up being successful than I see people that come in at the top. I just do. So at 24, you can easily go out and get you a T150 or an Express 1500 or a Ram 1500 or a Sprinter 1500. You don't have to get a 2500 or a 3500. You can go get you a 1500 and get money. Start getting money coming in while you're 24, building it up, learning the logistics space. And then if you want to, dive in and transition over to a box truck, you can. So you don't necessarily have to wait. It's money out there for you to get. You just need to go get it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be in a box truck. Why does my screen keep freezing, bro? Damn. Good or bad idea. Start 2 companies. First one is to own trucks and lease them to the second company. Second company does all the work. If the work company gets sued, you don't lose the trucks. It sounds like you've been listening to like some type of infomercial guru or something. Start 2 companies. First one is to own the trucks and lease them to the second company. Own the trucks. Second company. Second company does all the work. If the work company gets sued, you don't lose the truck. So here's the thing. I've been sued before. I won. But here's the thing. When I was talking to the lawyers, right, I said, man, is my trucks at stake? He's like, man, they don't want them trucks. I said, why not? He said, man, them trucks are too depreciated. They can't get nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it all depends on what you're getting sued for. You know, I think the way you're talking about it, you're going to be getting taxed for the company that's leasing the truck. So that's operating as like a rental leasing company. And then the company that's doing the physical work, you're going to get taxed. Why? I mean, it's, you know, if you run your company correctly and you do proper training, you shouldn't really be getting sued. And if you do run across a jerk who wants to sue you because things happen, you know, just make sure all your ducks is in order, ducks is in a row, and you should be fine. I think the way you're talking about, you're going to get taxed for both of those companies. You got 2 companies. One is operating as like a shell company, so to speak. But it's getting income because you're renting the vehicles to the other company that's doing the work. So that's operating as like a rental leasing company. The other company's acting as whatever, a final mile company or whatever you're gonna do. No, just do the one company. Keep God first. Do good business and you'll be fine. If you get sued for whatever reason, that's why you got insurance. When I got sued, my insurance handled it. My insurance gave me my lawyers. They sent me in there with a team of lawyers. My insurance took care. That's why you have insurance. That's why you have insurance. I didn't physically go in my pocket. No, Mercury. They called me. They said, Mark, what's up with this guy? Why? What's going on? I said, man, he's trying to shake me down for 20 grand. They said, yeah, that's what we think, because this doesn't even make any sense. They said, what you want to do? Should we just pay this? This is what excuse my language. They said, should we just pay this fucking guy, or do you want to fight this? That's why I shout out to Mercury. I said, man, I don't want to pay him. He's trying to shake me down. Ain't shit wrong with him. So you want to fight it? I said, yeah, let's fight it. They said, all right, we'll fight it. They fought it. They didn't drop me or nothing. Shout out to Mercury Insurance. So I didn't have to come out of my pocket. Mercury fought it. When it was my deposition, when it was time for me to go on my depositions, they sent me in with a team of lawyers. I had a team. I felt like I was, I don't know, Donald Trump or something. I felt important going in there. They prepped me and they met me. They really, really nice to me. It was like 3 lawyers. You know, it was 2 lawyers and then that one guy that I was talking to most of the time. And he prepped me and, you know, and I went in the deposition and I came out of the deposition and ultimately I won that lawsuit. So I didn't get sued. Now I could have countersued the guy, but I didn't want to waste time countersuing nobody that ain't got nothing. I could have countersued him for wasting my time, but I just let it go. And then we ran right into the pandemic. So like that literally ended November of 2019, and then 3-4 months later, March of 2020 was in the pandemic. So I let it go. No problem. Mark, what is that high yield savings account? I think I heard you mention that before. No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. It is, and I see what you've been saying about cargo van. It's true. Okay. What do I think about a step-up van? I think you should get I think if you're getting into this space, you want to get the right van that can do the job to the best ability. I wouldn't cut any short corners. So basically what I'm saying, if you're going to come into the cargo van space and you want a 2500, but you can't afford a 2500, get a 1500. Get a 1500, something that, you got space to do with the work. I wouldn't cut any corners. Any corners. I would get a full cargo van. Andrew said money ain't worth putting in the bank right now. Yeah, so I don't keep money in the bank in savings and stuff like that. I keep a little bit, but most of my money is working. It doesn't do me any good just looking at it in the savings account. You know what I'm saying? My money is, I said it before, my money is like soldiers. You can call my money soldiers. You can call it gang members, whatever. Each dollar is a soldier, is a gang member, and that money is getting sent out to go recruit more soldiers or more gang members. When they recruit those soldiers and they bring them back to the fold, we send them out again to go recruit more soldiers. And we just repeat the process. We repeat the process. The money doesn't do any good sitting in the bank. You can put money into other things that are going to bring you in more money. It's just that sitting that money in the bank, that's good for the bank. That's not good for the individual who's putting the money in there. That's good for the bank. The bank is making more money off your money than you are by sitting it in there. You put that stuff into something else that's working for you. Have you ever done office moves? All the time? A customer moved back in June, does government contracting and offered me a bid to do an office move in Atlanta. Think I need to start small and avoid this for now. I thought you said you was gonna get licensed. I think you should start based off what we talked about last night. Get your books in order, clean up your shop. Now, since the moving season is slowing down, we're going into winter. Use this time to really get things in order, clean up your shop. So when March hits, you'll be mentally ready, you'll be strategically ready, you'll be ready to roll. You'll be ready to roll for moving season. Another thing, Big Joe, I wanted to ask you, why are you spending so much money on material? You said $600 one month, $1,000 one month. Why are you spending so much money on material? I know why you spending so much money on material. I meant to get on that, last night, but I forgot. You're not buying your materials wholesale. You're buying your materials at retail. I bet you buying your shrink wrap from Home Depot. I bet you buying your shrink wrap from Home Depot. I bet you got that green shrink wrap from Home Depot. I bet you that. That's why you spending so much money too, because you're not going to moving supply places and purchasing your materials, or you're not ordering it from moving supply places. You need to be ordering your materials from moving supply places so you can get them at wholesale, because you're paying retail. You got to be paying retail because that's too much money. You're operating out of one vehicle. You shouldn't be spending $700, $800, $1,000 a month on material. That's crazy. You definitely can't make $70K to $9K a week in a box truck, especially a 16-foot box truck. So anybody that believes that is crazy. I saved up $10,000, just looking for the right thing to jump in. I've been leaning towards the moving company. I used to work for a moving company. It's just a workout, that's all. Yeah, moving company is the way to go. If you're young, man, this thing be freezing like on the weirdest poses. If you're young, I would go moving. I would definitely go moving. I would go moving all the way. That's just a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money, man. Is it a bad idea to lead doorknob business cards promoting dedicated pickup and delivery white glove service for residential or business customers we encounter off these gig guys? Well, me honestly, you could do what you want, but me honestly, I think investing money into print ads, so to speak, I think it's a waste because most people aren't going to look at it. Most people are going to throw it away. It's going to end up on the ground. I think the turnover in today's time for print ads versus years of the past is just probably obsolete. That money that you're investing into those print ads, you can invest a fraction of that or that same amount of money into more targeted ads, right? So you can leverage social media via Facebook or Instagram and utilize AI technology, whereas you can pay a graphic designer to create you a Facebook ad, Instagram ad, right? And then put it on your page and then boost it using Facebook, Instagram boost, sponsor the ad, set the demographics, and then they're going to target it to people who are looking for a move because obviously, the phones are listening to you. If you say Cadillac Escalade, then when you go on Instagram, they're showing you for ads for Cadillac Escalades, YouTube, Facebook, because they're listening, right? Because that was part of the terms of service agreement. You check to be able to even be on Instagram and Facebook. If they see you Google search it, they're going to show you those ads. If they hear you talking about it on phone calls or text message or whatever, they're going to show you those ads. So if you utilize technology or social media, I should say, and spend the money there, the ads are more targeted. So they're targeted to direct customers who are in the market to hire movers. So you're not wasting that much. You have more of a better ratio of person who's going to see that ad and maybe contact you versus doing printing up 5,000 pluggers and passing out 5,000 pluggers and 4,500 of them or 4,900 people ain't even thinking about moving no time soon. I'd rather spend the money on targeted ads where the technology is listening and they're only going to show those ads to people who said the word moving or searched the word moving in the past 30 days or whatever. So the ratio of you getting more leads that way is probably more beneficial than spending money on print ads, I would think. That's just my 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you want, but I think it's better to go the way I said. I thought of that from when you were talking about if your driver isn't paying attention and the kid ball goes into the road, next thing you know, the parents want everything. Yeah, so that's just an unfortunate situation. Usually when I give examples, I try to give the most realist, examples based on real life things that, situations that I haven't dealt with, but I've read in the news. And I try to give the most scariest, realistic examples because these things do happen and you have to keep these things in mind possible to kind of give people that shock value, like, yeah, this can happen. So they prepare themselves, they train exceptionally well. But at the end of the day, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep your fingers crossed. You got to keep God first. You got to train your drivers exceptionally well and just hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Like my OG always taught me. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Yeah, I got other streams of revenue, other businesses that I invest in, and businesses I invest in now are pretty much automated. I don't ever plan on investing into a business where I have to rely on people ever again. If I do need people for the business, there'll be contractors. So whenever I deal with people now, they're contractors, no employees. because at this point in my life, I've 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 dealt with a multitude of people, hundreds, maybe thousands of people have come through my doors for employment and have worked for me, and I dealing with people is tough, especially when you're dealing with people in a very labor intensified business, and I'm dealing with moving and final mile delivery. So you got 2-3 men on each truck. There's a lot of testosterone. I've had to, be a referee. I've had to break up fights, complaints, just all type of stuff, man. I just don't want to deal with people, at least for the foreseeable future. So everything that I've invested in throughout my tenure of the trucking business and the moving company, as far as other businesses, I've just automated businesses, other companies, taking stake in other companies, and just let my money flow and my streams of revenue flow in like that. So if you're able to build a successful moving business or a successful trucking business, it's wise to diversify those businesses into other businesses. You can actually use your business to invest in other businesses. I always say, if you're running Amazon, there's no reason you should be running Amazon and you don't own stake in the company. If you're running for RXO, you should own shares of RXO. If you're running for JB Hunt Final Mile, or if you're an owner operator for JB Hunt, you should own shares of the company. If you're running for a publicly traded company, you should double dip. You should own shares of it. That's why I always make fun, like guys that run Amazon Relay. I probably made more money off of Amazon in the past 5 years than guys that have been running Amazon Relay for the past 3 years. And that's no cap. That's no cap. Without ever going into an Amazon facility, without ever putting on a blue vest, without ever doing anything that requires any physical labor or sending a truck there or downloading an Amazon Relay app and onboarding. And I probably made more money than the average person running Amazon Relay has made in 3 years. I probably made more than that in the last 5 years with Amazon, just by simply investing into the company. Then the stock split. So, so yeah, so you can invest, you can use your business to acquire other businesses. So you can have a personal portfolio, your business can have a portfolio. And when your business makes money off its portfolio, that's considered income, but it's not taxable unless you sell it. So as long as it's sitting in there, you know what I'm saying, it's not taxable unless you cash out and sell it. So as long as you got money sitting in assets and other companies, then you're fine. U-Haul, another big one for me. A lot of money in U-Haul. You know what I'm saying? U-Haul is a good asset to have. Amazon, great asset. Shout out to all my Amazon Relay guys. Keep up the good work, guys. I need all my Amazon, listen to me. All my Amazon Relay guys, I really need you guys to keep up the good work. All my Amazon Relay content creators, I need you guys to keep up the good work. All you guys that run Amazon Relay, keep up the good work. I need you guys to be on time. I need you guys to make sure when you scan your face, you smile. I need you guys to, make sure you're getting to these, to these post offices on time, right? I need you to make sure that you guys are running as efficiently as possible, because when you guys do good, I do good. You dig what I'm saying? When you guys do good, I do good. All right. So shout out to all my Amazon Relay guys out there. What made me invest into Amazon? Because it's just a good asset to own. And you see, when I started talking about that Amazon, how many people left? They don't like that. It's the truth, though. It's the truth. It was 80 people in here. That shit dropped down to 63. They got mad as hell. Like, man, this nigga in here talking shit. It's the truth, though. If you run for Amazon, I never hear nobody talking about investing into Amazon. Literally. One thing about Amazon, it's a good asset to have in your portfolio. And that's no cap. That's no cap. It went from 80 to 63. I told her, man, I need y'all to keep, scan your face good, smile, make sure you're on time, pull your pants up, get to those post offices on time, unload those pallets, make sure they're lined up, nice and neat. Shout out to all those guys that run Amazon. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. What other strategy can be used for moving a 16-foot box truck? That's pretty much it. I've given you all the strategy. Thumbtack, college forums, college classifieds. If you want, you can tackle Craigslist. I wouldn't do it. It's kind of sketchy on Craigslist nowadays. But, you can use Craigslist. There's a lot of competition on there. Too. Then word of mouth. Most of your moving jobs over time, once you build out your, once you do so many moves over years, you're going to get word of mouth. You can post up on Yelp, but just make sure that when you create a profile on Yelp and people start finding you on Yelp, they're going to leave you a review. So make sure you do great work. So, appreciate you. I wouldn't buy shrink wrap from Granger. CDS is where I get all my moving supply stuff from. There's a really good company on Amazon, however, that has comparable prices to CDS for shrink wrap. I'll show you the company now. And they have good shrink wrap. It's good industrial shrink wrap. And it's a fair price. So, I'll share my screen. I don't know why my computer keeps freezing tonight. Well, not my computer, but my screen. All right, so I've purchased this shrink wrap from this company many a times. You want to get the 18-inch, right? 1,500 feet, 80 gauge. Has to be 80 gauge. The reason why it's 80 gauge is because that's the strongest. Make sure you don't get the 43 gauge and all that cheap gauge. It's got to be 80 gauge. This company, International Plastics, I've purchased this shrink wrap a numerous amount of times. This is really, really good shrink wrap. So if you need to order shrink wrap, you get it from here, $61 a case, which is down from where it was at last year, about $3. So this is really good shrink wrap. Nope, never used MailChimp to retarget. Never did any retargeting. Just, after so many years, repeat customers and word of mouth was about 40%, 40 to 50% of that business. You'll be surprised how many people move every single year. And those people that you move every single year, you start moving everybody else in their family. You know what I'm saying? They spread the word. So, I had a lady that I moved seven times in 1 year. So I've never had to do retargeting. I've never had to do a lot of really hard marketing, outside of thumbtack is when I really got into, really spending money for lead generating But prior to Thumbtack, just Craigslist, and once I got licensed, we ran Google ads here and there, but for the most part, just word of mouth. We ran flyer campaigns back in the day, but back in the day it was different. The forums, the classifieds. We did flyer distribution, storage units. That's what that was another thing. Go to all the storage facilities in your market. Every storage facility usually has a board where you can pin your business card to or your flyer. So you want to make sure you have some marketing material put on the board, and then you take it one step further by talking to. Usually these storage facilities only have 1 to 3 employees, so it's usually the storage facility manager, maybe an employee or two. So, and then like public storage, the storage manager, facility manager usually lives on site. If you pay attention to a lot of public storages, you'll see like an apartment on top of the office. So most public storage facilities, the facility manager lives on site. So you talk to the facility manager, you say, hey, I own a moving company. This is a storage facility, so people are constantly moving in and out of here. So I know people ask you, do you know any moving companies? If you refer my moving company, for every person you refer, I'll give you $50. And then that's how you take over the storage facility. So I started doing that early on, and then that's ultimately how you build your business. So go to the storage facilities and tell them to talk to the manager and tell them that they're willing to give them a $50 referral for every person that they refer. They got people coming renting storage units every day. They got people moving out of storage units every day. So when they ask for referrals, they can pinpoint you, and then you just give them a $50 finder's fee. All right. I see the free game is direction for small trucking company. I see the free game is direction for small trucking company. Do you teach these guys how to network with property managers, retailers, and supply chains on how they can become a supplier of government bids? So I don't really talk about the government stuff because I know most people aren't equipped or have the infrastructure to deal with government contracts. That's just the truth. I know a lot of people push government contracts, but the truth behind the matter is when the government or another municipality, a city, state, county need a service provider, they need a service provider for a big project. They don't need twos and fews individuals. We need 50 trucks to go do this. We need 15 trucks to go do this. We need 20 trucks to go do this. That's why you only see the big companies doing it. So when people be pushing that government contract and stuff, that's just to get people to buy into the hope. When I did a government contract, I was at scale and they needed a company at scale. I'm delivering lottery tickets to all the liquor stores and gas stations in the city of Chicago. That's not something one vehicle can do. It's not something that one company can house that whole account itself, but you have to cover a large portion of the city, and you might go to a block. There might be a gas station on each corner. There may be a gas station on this corner and this corner. There's a liquor store in that corner and a grocery store on this corner, and all of them sell lottery. So, you might cover one zip code. One van might need 2 vehicles to cover one zip code. So, you got to be at scale. You got to have an infrastructure because big municipalities, government, federal, state, county, city, when they need something, they need something. So, do I teach about property managers? I got a video talking about property managers. I got a video last year where I talked about property managers because we do a lot of moves for a property management company, right? So when they stage condos and houses for sale, not property management. We deal with not property management companies, realty companies. So we deal with a realty company that when they have to stage a house or a condo, we go to the storage, we move all the staging furniture out, we move it to the place that they're going to stage, we drop it off. Once they sell the place, we send the truck out, we pick the stuff up, we bring it back to the storage unit. also have worked with um interior design company. So it was an interior design company I worked with for many years. She retired, and she didn't have anyone to pass the business down to. We worked her for many years. She was a celebrity interior designer. So my company got a chance to, go to the coaster, pick up furniture, and deliver it and set it up for ball players, Jamal Crawford, the list goes on. So all these types of contracts come over time, and all the ones that I've gotten over the years were came to me. I didn't go out and seek these people. As long as you have a good footprint, which I had back then in the day when I first got started. Now you want to have a good digital footprint. People will find you. Staging companies will find you. Realty companies will find you. Interior decorators will find you. And they'll call you. And the key is when they call you and they hire you to do a great job, so that they can continuously come and use you. Especially the real estate companies. If it's a large real estate company like the one I deal with, is the biggest one in the city. Now the difference is because it's the biggest one in the city, there's different realtors. So I don't deal with all the realtors. All the realtors that work for that company, they have their own moving companies they deal with. I deal with 3 realtors within that company. And whatever units that they're listing, that they stage, they got their 4 or 5 storage lockers. They call us, we go out, we pick up the stuff, we meet them there. They pull out the stuff that they want to use for the staging. The truck is loaded. We go to the unit, unload it. They stage it. When the unit sells, they hire us again, go to wherever it is that was sold, remove all the stuff, wrap it, take it back to the storage unit. Simple as that. I'm gonna answer a few more questions and I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. That's a good strategy for storage unit. Yeah, that's a great strategy for storage units. So if you looking to start a moving company, I would go to all the storage facilities and tell them you're gonna give them a $50 referral fee. Can I start a moving company with a pickup truck and a 16-foot trailer? You definitely can. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult for you. And the reason I say difficult is because you may be in some tight situations, especially if you're in a major populated city. That trailer, it may, it's not like backing a truck in, or, a truck can get a parking spot. A trailer, if you're in a major populated city, a really, really dense city, it may be kind of hard to maneuver that pickup truck with that trailer around. So, it can be done. I see people doing it, but, you just got to keep that in mind. I started with a pickup truck, but with not the enclosed trailer. That enclosed trailer can be tough. I remember one time I had a moving customer rich lady, she had a beach house up in Michigan, like right on the border of Indiana and Michigan, like an hour and 20 minutes outside of Chicago. No big deal. And she just wanted like a dresser brought up there. So I, being a U-Haul dealer, I just grabbed a 6x12 trailer and I'm like, I'll do it myself. I'm not gonna send it because she didn't want to spend that much money. I charged her $750, which was an egregious amount of money to charge her anyway. But I didn't want to send a truck up there for that one small item, so I threw it in the back of a 6x12 trailer and I hooked it to the back of my pickup truck and took a guy and we just rolled up there real quick and dropped it off. Man, what she didn't tell me is she had a lake house, but her lake house was on a hill up the winding road. And once I got up there, there was no way for me to turn. My pickup truck, I got a 6x12 trailer. There was no way for me to make a full turn and come back down. So I had to bag that trailer back down that winding hill. Man, that was, man. And this is what you're up against when you're dealing with a trailer. You never know what you're going to get into. It was scary. It was, tough, it was rough. So that's, what you're up against when you're doing moves with a trailer. Dude, I think gambling and storing you in the auction is a good idea. You've been watching too much Storage Wars, man. No, I don't think it's a good idea. Man, you've been watching too much Storage Wars. I think a lot of that on Storage Wars, I think a lot of that is staged. I think a lot of that is staged. I think people who have their stuff in storage have fell on tough times. I just don't think you're gonna find the shit that you see on Storage Wars. Like, to me, that's like, I've moved people in storage. I've moved people out of storage. I've seen what's in people's storage units. People that put their shit in storage, and not in all cases, but in most cases, or 50%, let's say, I fell on some type of tough time. The other 50% may have, moved in with another person. They put their stuff in storage or whatever the case. But a lot of the times, people that put their stuff in storage fell on hard times. So you may have some good things you may find in there, but I'm not gambling on that. It's easier ways to make money. It's easier ways to make money. I had to back a concrete truck down that winding street with cars before. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up, man. I got to make a phone call before it gets late. I wanted to get on here and knock that out. Hopefully everybody got the picture as far as prioritizing. Let me look at this chat. I'm going to end it real quick. We had 148 votes. 48% said God, business, and family. 29% said God, family, and business. 16% said all business, and 6% said family, God, and business. So 48%, almost 50% said God, business, and family. So that's good. Hope everybody gets the point. Prioritize your business. Once again, I don't need y'all to lead with this thought in mind. Your payment, right, as far as your business paying you, the measure of your payment is based off, why is this thing freezing? Why is it going to freeze on my out monologue? Come on now, man. God damn it. What the hell is going on tonight? That was on for 3 hours? All right, so I'm just going to say it, then I'm going to get out of here. Your payment, the way your business pays you, the measurement of your payment is based off the success of the business. So make sure you really, really work hard for the business initially, so you can get the most out of it. The harder you work, the more successful the business becomes, the more you can pay yourself. Make sure you make all the sacrifices initially at the beginning so that you can spend more time with your family and be selfless later on. I will see you guys next week. Monday, the Wiseman podcast. I may have something special for you guys Sunday. Until then, I'm out. Peace.